Alrighty, today we got a PS4 Fat here. We're gonna take a look at it, get it cleaned up, and then maybe take a swing at the disk drive too while we're here. So first we're gonna slide this top cover off, and that just slides off. Got these tabs here, just kind of push it, comes right off. And yep, a little dusty, but not too bad. Put that off to the side for now. Oh, look at that, they left me a nice present. No hard drive at all. That's always fun. Hard drives are one of those fun optional parts you don't really need. We just like to talk about them. Alrighty, let's get this hard drive tray out. It's just going to be a quick, take that one screw out there, throw it across the room, put that there, and then that whole hard drive tray comes out with, look at that, a little surprise. No hard drive. Yeah. Now this console, it looks like it has been taken apart because there's no stickers here. But there's still one here at the top, so that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and get these bottom three off now. And that's a security Torx bit. So you can't get that with most, just kind of standard screwdrivers. But it's well worth buying I have the iFixit set, and that is well worth the money I spent on that. I use it all the time, fix iPhones with it, MacBooks, Xboxes, Switches, of the Nintendo variety, not light switches. And that, you just lift up on these corners, pick it up, and then slide it forward a little bit just to kind of clear the eject mechanism. Yeah, looks good, not too bad actually. It's in pretty good shape inside. Which is good. This guy's actually in pretty darn good shape. It's got, a little bit of dust here and there, but nothing really horrible. So when we got this open like this, I'm gonna go ahead and take the screws out of the power supply, which is this big brick kind of here in the back, and those, that'll be helpful later to go ahead and get these out. Go ahead and undo those two, and swap bits. Back over to that security Torx, and these three kind of edges will just come right out, just like that. No, I'm not gonna take him out yet. I'm just gonna get this loose, put this thing back over, and my little bolts will just fall right out because gravity still works. Now there's one screw right here you gotta get on this guy. There's one screw up here at the top, right there. There's that guy there and that guy there. And there's another one in the back under this little tab. And I'm just gonna take a pair of tweezers. I'm just gonna see if I can kinda, come on. Yeah, you're really just gonna tear like that? Wow. This one's gonna be difficult, but that's on it. There we go. And I'm just gonna kind of pop it off like that. Beautiful, beautiful. Go ahead and unscrew that. You're right as rain on the top cover now. Now these top covers sometimes can be a little persnickety. They curve into the back of the console. So this is the front of the console, and this edge kind of hooks down under there. So it's usually easier to pop them up from the front. It seems to be the better method. Just have to be careful of the eject and power buttons. But it usually comes up without too much of a fight. You can get that, just kind of work your way around to this edge. And that'll just kind of come up and slide it back a little bit, clear that back edge, take it right off, and that's also in pretty darn good shape. Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. Most of these I open up and are like just full of nastiness and bugs and yeah, the unpleasant part of the job. So now it's just about 1,000 screws here on the side. I received this console. It is broken still. It's got a blue light of death. It sounds like the disk drive's got some loose pieces in there, which is probably the rollers, or someone stuffed Legos in there, because that can happen. So we'll see about the blue light. We might fix that one, we might not. But this is more just for the sake of doing a disassembly. A good cleaning, and then probably upsetting some people in the comments, because that's what usually happens. Always that one guy that's like, hey, you didn't do that right. That's fine. Which is fine. You switch back over to the Phillips here. Just go ahead and I'm going to leave that clamp. Go ahead and turn it over. And get this power supply out. Now these power supplies, they've got two kind of prongs that sit under there and go into the motherboard. And they can be a little sticky to get out sometimes. Just because they really like sticking in that console frame. It's hard to get a grip on that corner without breaking something. There's also a wire that goes from this power supply to the console, so once you kind of get it loose, I would not wiggle it. I just did. Should just come on up. The corner's kind of catching. There we go. Now right here in this corner, if you look, see that wire right there? Yeah. So go ahead and pick this up and just kind of rotate it. And that wire changes places on different models of the PlayStation. Again, this is the PS4 Fat, the launch model. And then if you can just kind of either work it out of either the console. That's what's being a booger. You can either unplug it from the console itself. There we go. Like that. And you have the power supply. Which is probably fine. Maybe not. We'll see. Outside as well. There's a couple other little wires and connectors here. So on this guy, I'm gonna take my tweezers here. On this, there's this little antenna wire. You guys get in here and pop him off. This is another wire. Got a bundle of them here. You just kind of pull up on that, unhook that. Now, okay, this guy's different. You got to push on this little metal tab right there. You got to push on that. And then you can just kind of ease him out like so. And that's the majority of the hard stuff. And back here to the top side, take out these two clamp screws. And I might be able to bend this clamp and squeeze the tarnation out of it. That's what causes that blue light of death sometimes. Bad connection on that APU, solder ball breaking. Probably gonna have to replace the APU, which is a bummer, but it happens. Gonna go ahead and ease this up. Now, when you're taking these off, just kind of ease them up a little bit, and just as you're doing it, kind of check for screws if you missed anywhere. No, I'm getting so I still got a screw in that side that I did not get yet, because Sony thought to themselves, "I'm just gonna add one random screw right here. It's gonna complicate your life and make me difficult to repair." Because that was a good idea. And that plate just kind of comes right off now. Okie dokie. There we go. There's the motherboard. And that's in astonishingly good shape, actually. And here's what's on the other side. Now, it's important to remember, you've got these pads. There's those ones that go on the RAM chips. And it's really easy when you clean this thing to knock those off. Or just to kind of brush them or move them out of the way, or they get stuck on one of the chips instead and you clean them off. It's important that you keep those because those will help with the cooling of the RAM chips. And without those, you risk burning up your RAM or overheating the whole console. So you want those to stick around. This is the motherboard. This is the little fan connector. You can just go boop, like that. It doesn't unplug, it kind of picks up like that. This is nice. We just dust it off a little that. That's good. Just give it a little dusting. There's a little bit of dust on here, but nothing crazy. And this is just a little bit of identification. This is your chip, your RAM chips through here. On the other side of this spot is your APU. This is your Wi-Fi module. Just a little bit to help you out. That's your fan connector right there. And this is the other side of those two tabs for the 12 volt power supply. I'm just gonna go ahead and ease this out. Now, for me, because it's got these ports in the back that go through this plate, I found it's easier as opposed to trying to pick up from the back. I'll pick up from the front. Just make sure you watch those front USB ports. Pick up from the front and then just kind of ease it forward a little bit while you're kind of going up on it. And it usually just kind of comes right out. Lovely. And here's the other side. this console is in glorious condition. Wow, that just makes my heart happy. Beautiful. Yeah, so here's the other side of those, more of those RAM chips. And see on this guy, 2 of those heat pads stayed right there. Those two chips. The rest of them are all up here on the chip still. This is your APU and the thermal paste on it. That thermal paste looks a little crunchy. Kind of comes up in chunks. So I'll replace that. Yeah, this is the other side of the board. That's your CMOS battery. Seems to be in good shape. Your USB ports. These look pretty good too. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this off to the side, and we'll keep on trucking. Well, I just finished with the disk drive and got the thing put back together. Was all excited, and then saw that my camera's SD card was full. So we're gonna kind of go through this faster now. Just a little bit here. There's these 3 screws. 1, 2, and 3. And this blade comes out. This kind of comes up and then it picks up straight up. There's your fan. This is the other side of the disk drive. And this plate is in really nice condition, actually. It's really clean. There's a little bit of discoloration, but nothing crazy. You can see down that heatsink there. That's exceptionally clean for having just pulled this out of a console. That's really, really good. Usually there's at least some dust build up in there, but this has almost nothing. So this is your fan. You can take the fan out with screw there, screw there. This is actually a good opportunity to show. PlayStation, they don't hate us apparently. And a lot of places there's supposed to be screws, not everywhere, but a lot of places, they put this little mark kind of right there. It's that little like arrow looking shape. There's one right there, and that means there's supposed to be a screw there in this layer, if you will, of the sandwich. You kind of imagine the PlayStation like a sub sandwich. There's the bread either side, and there's all the stuff in the middle, and that kind of helps you know. I'm not gonna take the disk drive out because I just took it apart and checked it, and it's fine. But it's pretty easy to do. It's just screw there, screw there, screw there. This little metal plate comes off. Take off a couple screws in the corner there, kind of in the corners, if you will. And then this board has to stay with the actual console. The only thing with this board that's a little funny is this cable can stay. You pull this ribbon cable straight out. There's one down here you gotta pull straight out. And then there's one right about here that you gotta pop this little black tab up first, pull the ribbon cable out. Then you wanna put it back in, you put the cable in, and you flip the little tab down. Only thing that might be anywhere out of the ordinary. And that Wi-Fi antenna might have to come off. So, with that, I'm gonna drop the screw. Where did you go, you little bugger? There you go. I see it. He tried to run. And now I'm going to start putting this guy back together, and we will see about getting him into service shortly. Put these 3 screws back in. One over here. One right there. And one right here. A little bit lovely. Now that's where your thermal paste for your APU chip is going to sit on the heatsink. So what I'm going to do with that is, I already got it kind of cleaned up. I'm going to take a paper towel, a little bit of Jack Daniels, no I'm kidding, rubbing alcohol. The high end, like 99% stuff. No Jack Daniels. I'm just going to kind of rub that spot down a little bit. Get that nice and clean. As much of that off there as I can. Now there's some residue from the paper towel left. Oh, look at that, storm. Dust that off a little bit. And now that is gonna be fine and dandy. Now our motherboard can go back in. I'm gonna take this guy, actually first, take that motherboard. I'm gonna clean off the old thermal paste. Now I have my thermal pasty brushy brush and my thermal pasty spatula, and I'm just gonna kind of go through here and just use this to kind of chip up some of the really dry stuff if it'll come off easy, just because it's a little faster. Being careful not to damage anything, of course. You can do that, and then take this guy, just kind of brush some of that off. Now, thermal paste is not conductive, So if there's a little residue on the board, it's not going to really hurt anything. But you still don't want that just kind of gumming up stuff. That's not great. Liquid metal, on the other hand, like in the PS5, that will definitely short stuff out because it's actually metal. I think it's silver, at least partially, some of them are. And that will get up in your other spots in the board and short stuff out and cause problems. Get that chip nice and clean. We're getting there, it's close. I don't care as much around the chip. I mean, I like that to be clean too. But really the top is the important part. Yeah, right in there is nice. Yeah, and that chip is getting there. And you want that chip to be clean enough to where it's reflective and you can see yourself or the camera or whatnot in there. And that's good. And this board all looks to be in decent shape all in all. Don't see any major issues. Yeah, awesome. So I'm gonna get my thermal paste out. I'm gonna repaste this little buddy. We'll be ready to rock and roll. I've just got my little bit of thermal paste. I'm just gonna go right to there. And beautiful. I'm pretty sure people saying I didn't use enough, I used too little, used too much. If it bothers you that much, add more, take some off. Do your own thing. I'm gonna put this guy down, like so. I'm gonna check those thermal pads again, just to make sure everything's good. So I still got 3, 4, 5, and I'm missing those 2, but those 2 are there and there, so I'm actually gonna leave those 2 there, because they're stuck on there pretty good. I'm just gonna take you, make sure that's right. Yep, wait, yep, okay. Now the easiest way to get these boards back in, is take them. I usually kind of go ports first in here, and just try to line those ports up a little bit. See if you can, okay, that little tab right there is bent just a little bit down, so that's gonna make it more difficult. There we go. See how that just sat right in there, and then just lay it down. Now, that little watch your fan cable there. It's all laid down and happy now. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the top cover back on. So that'll be held on there. I still got all my thermal pads are all still there. This is in good shape. Not forgetting, okay, cool. And that's just gonna sit right there on top. This is actually one of the easier assemblies. Some of the later ones can be a booger. Let's throw this guy in right there. I'm curious, I do not know what these little like tabs are for. I think it's just to hold these in place maybe. I'm not sure. But the later ones did not have as much of this type of kind of weird holding in place tabs. And these are these 2 longer screws, kind of the big barrel looking screws. I'm gonna go ahead and get these 2 guys in. Not tighten up all the way, but tighten them up good. Get you there. Get you right here. I'm just gonna tighten these guys down pretty good. Just in case that's been what's causing my issue with my APU. I doubt it, but we'll see. Now that's gonna hold that in there for now. Turn it over. You have access to this kind of mess back here. This guy sits right in here. Just goes boop, right in there, and then if you want to make sure that cable sits in that little tray inside, you can do that, and it just kind of goes right there. And that'll keep it mostly out of the way. Not totally, but mostly. This guy, you can go ahead and get it in there, kind of line it up, push down on that tab, push it in the rest of the way. And that tab popped back up, so we're good. This little antenna cable, there's this little connector right there that goes to. Kind of a little bit of shrapnel. Where's there shrapnel in my console? Sir, no. Put that there and then poke it kind of down. So you get a little click. Run that cable so it's not in the way anywhere. And we should be just as right these little kind of hooks and stuff. This cable goes around to keep it out of the way. And then that is it for that guy. It is fine and dandy. So I'm gonna put that power supply back in now. And that just, you take it and hook in this cable here in this corner first. So that guy goes there. There's one little tab left. These things really are pretty simple to take apart. As long as you just go slow and kind of think about what you're doing as you're doing it. It doesn't take too much pressure to do any. You're not gonna have to yank it, jerk it, or anything. I mean, sure, there's some spots where you're gonna have to pull a little more than others, but nothing really excessive. Drop those 2 screws in here. These help tie this to the motherboard, and that helps secure the motherboard and also keep this guy in place. Which is good. Just tighten those down. Pretty good, not crazy. We'll come back to the other side and get the rest of those in a sec. Turn you back over. I'm gonna put this. Actually, I've got a nice drive I will fill in there. I've got a 1 terabyte Fire CUDA I might throw in there. Go into the fan connector there. Just a little boop. Now at this point, you could plug this in and turn it on. Wouldn't recommend it. Your heat might be weird and you might cause more issues and break stuff, but if I'm testing a console or building or putting a console back together with the intent of testing it, I'll usually turn it on about now. Just so that way I can see if whatever else I'm working on was fixed. And if it wasn't, okay, well then I'll stop what I'm doing and backtrack a little bit. Go ahead and get these screws in here. I'm just about done at this point. Yep. So a little about me and how I got here. I've been in the business of fixing things for myself and for other people for a few years now. I've always been kind of a tinkerer, mess with stuff. A little bit of a button pusher as well. A kid that I know asked if I could fix his Nintendo Switch. I told him, sure, what the heck, why not? And he gave me a box of parts and said that he wasn't sure what had happened. It looked like he had attacked it with a machete in a corner and just kind of left it to die, but it turns out I think it had fallen off a fridge or something maybe, I can't remember now. But did that, enjoyed it. I bought some switches and stuff from there. Fixed them, fixed the ones I could fix, sold the ones for parts that I couldn't fix. Enjoyed that a lot. So I decided, hey, what the heck? The margins on PlayStations are a lot better because the margins to fix a Nintendo Switch were so tight. You're buying them for parts so close to their total value. That wasn't really worth it. So I moved to PlayStations. Been doing PlayStations off and on for a while now and selling them on eBay under repair tree. Did some working on some PS5s, a little bit of custom paint jobs and stuff for people. Yeah, that's about it. And that's how I got here. I enjoy it. It's fun. There's a lot worse ways you could spend your afternoon, and it's functionally a hobby that pays its bills. All right. And I do believe we're looking right dandy. So I'm just going to put this in there just for the sake of having it in and out of the way. Put you there. Boop. Switch back over to my Phillips. And I'm going to take this guy back apart here just a little bit to look at this blue light of death. Take this top cover, and it's easier if you sit this cover on the back. Kind of first get it set where it belongs, slide all the way forward, and then just kind of get this corner first. And then I always do that screw every single time. They just don't mark it as being different, and I always forget that that guy has to be done later. So I always am having to come back and take this little sucker apart again. Come on, you little dirty dog. Fine, be difficult. Be difficult. There we go. Lovely. And then you can just put your screw in right there. Take your other screw and put it in right there. Take your handy dandy data cover. I do like the PlayStation to make these removable. That's kind of a cool touch. You can customize them a little bit. That's the top. Flip it over. If you're super worried about scratching it, you can put down something so you don't scratch the top of the console up. And then with these, this is the front. I put the front on first. A little bit of an angle. Kind of walk it forward and then push it down. See how we're looking? I need 4 screws in the back. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Take this guy. Gonna put him in right there. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Last but definitely least, Clancy. No. And number 4. And that'll do it. That's the full disassembly and reassembly of the PS4 Pro, along with some commentary from me, which I'm sure you didn't ask for, but now you have. If you were to clean it, that's how you do it. And yeah, thanks for watching.